Hello there, and welcome. Everybody likes top 10 lists, right? Well, I know I do. And I figured, hey, why not try my hand at making one of my own? And I figured since 2024 is around the corner, quite literally, by the time this video comes out, it actually might be 2024. But I wanted to discuss 10 games that I'm really looking forward to in 2024. Let's get started, shall we? With number 10, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yeah, just the trailer looked so impressive, and just that L'Oreal moment with Cloud and Sephiroth. L'Oreal, because you're worth it, or however that slogan goes. I was like, man, Sephiroth really has just luscious hair. That's all I can think about. I played Final Fantasy VII, the original Final Fantasy VII, a few years ago, and I honestly wasn't too impressed with the game. It was a good game, I enjoyed it, but for all the praise and all the love it gets, I didn't see it. I enjoyed the characters, I liked the story. It didn't feel like a masterpiece to me. And I know that might be a hot take, but that's how I felt. And, you know, I'm always about keeping it real here on this channel, right? And I have not played Final Fantasy VII Remake yet, but just based off of things I've seen for that game, I actually think I would enjoy Remake more than the original. The direction it seems to be taking in terms of, well, changing certain events in the original story really makes it super interesting to me, and bringing in Zack and all that stuff from Crisis Core too. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth could potentially be Game of the Year 2024. That's what it looks like to me from an outsider's perspective. That's the kind of vibe I got just from watching the trailer. And the reason I put this at number 10 is because, well, as of right now, it's a PS5 exclusive. And your boy Cyrus, he doesn't own a PS5. First, I will have to play Final Fantasy VII Remake. And maybe by the time I get around to doing that, Rebirth will come out to PC. We'll see what happens. Oh, and as far as number 9, we're moving in to Dragon's Dogma 2, baby. Oh yeah, I loved the original Dragon's Dogma back on the PS3. When I saw the trailer for this, it just looked like Dragon's Dogma with a new coat of paint, and they added some new classes into the mix too, and seriously, you can't tell me this isn't just Jedi Force powers, the class. Oh man, you have the dual saber, you have the Force powers. That's probably going to be a class I'm gonna have a ton of fun with. And I'm very excited to get into that game and just explore the world, go spelunking and all kinds of just caves and looking for relics and treasure and crafting things and upgrading equipment. Man, it's gonna be a good time. I already know it. Might not be Game of the Year, but it's gonna be a really good game of the year. And moving right along, at number 8, we have a game called Deca Police, which is actually a level 5 game. It looks really interesting as far as the trailer goes. It just kind of looks like this typical standard turn-based JRPG. I've always been a big fan of detectives, whether it's Kyoko Kirigiri or Shuichi Saihara from the Danganronpa games, my boy Yagami from Judgment, even Dojima from Persona 4, and a couple other games. And I mean, well, who could forget Lloyd Bannings? Oh, what a legend. I've always loved detective, police type of games. It just seems like a game I would really like. And I haven't really looked into it much. I heard it was supposed to come out late 2023, but then they pushed it back. So hopefully that's to put some finishing touches on things and just make the game overall a little better in terms of the overall experience. But yeah, really looking forward to that game. And number 7. This one doesn't technically have a 2024 release date. It just has more of a release window, but well, okay, it's Kingdom Hearts 4. I love the Kingdom Hearts games. I sadly can't claim that I've been a fan since the beginning because I started my Kingdom Hearts journey actually really late. I only started playing them in I want to say 2017, 2018, somewhere around there. But they very, very quickly became some of my favorite games, especially Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2 is a masterpiece of a game.
Get up when the Hydra's back!
But just where they left off with Kingdom Hearts 3, in terms of the whole secret ending, and I know they've done some other stuff with Melody of Memory, and they did a new mobile game, but I don't pay attention to the mobile game market. But knowing Nomura, he always has to shove really important lore details, even in those mobile games. Oh, the madman. Oh, I'll have to probably look those up at some point before jumping into 4, just so that I know what's going on if certain things pop up. We're finally gonna be able to see the Master of Masters and potentially learn his identity. That'd be really cool. As far as theories as to who the Master of Master is, I don't know. I know people like to say, oh, he's like Sora from the future. I like the theory that he's like a manifestation of Kingdom Hearts. I've always been a fan of that theory. But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see if Kingdom Hearts 4 gets an actual release date for 2024, or if it could potentially get pushed into 2025. That's always a possibility. You know, these games do take a while. And moving right along to number 6, Metaphor ReFantazio. I first heard of this game way back when it was referred to as just Project ReFantasy, and they only had that one piece of key art out. And it was like, okay, a new fantasy JRPG from Atlas? Cool. That'll definitely be something to look forward to. And yeah, the first trailer came out, first little teaser, and I wasn't really hooked. It wasn't something that immediately grabbed me. And then this more recent trailer came out, and it was like, oh no, they showed off more of the combat. They showed all kinds of the graphics look beautiful. And it's this mix of action combat and turn-based combat, and that it just looked really satisfying to get into, so I wonder how they'll go about doing that. Because a certain game that I'm going to talk about later also has a mix of action and turn-based combat. I guess technically 2 games, now that I think about it, actually have a mix of some kind of action and turn-based combat. I wonder if that's going to be the new industry standard going forward. Is if they're going to start mixing action and turn-based combat more. I'd be down for it. I know there are people that only strictly prefer action or they strictly prefer turn-based, but as a variety guy myself, I say go for it. More fun times for me. Screw everybody else. Oh no, but the game looks really fun, and I can't wait to see more of it. And now, we get into the top 5. This next one has a really stupid name, but the game looks really good. And that's Unicorn Overlord from Vanillaware Games. Oh man, which just, when I first saw that game, I saw the art style, I saw the gameplay, just moving around the overworld map, and the gameplay inside the actual sections themselves, and it was just like, this is my kind of game, 100%. And it being Vanillaware, I know they've got a pretty big pedigree in terms of games that they've made, and I'm not going to go around and act like I'm the biggest Vanillaware fan. I've only ever played 13 Sentinels, which I did really enjoy that game. And if the story and the characters are anywhere near as good as 13 Sentinels, as well as the gameplay being as good as it looks, that's going to shape up to be a really good game. And that feels like an understatement. But yeah, just Unicorn Overlord. That is, why? Is that really the best you could think of? It has to be, there has to be a lore reason that it's called that. Either there's a country called the Unicorn, or there's a corps or a mercenary group, or some kind of guild, maybe, where they're called unicorns and they're battling to become the overlord of a certain place, or just the overlord of the guild itself. I don't know. I will be interested to see if that ever turns into anything, or if they were just like, yeah, let's just throw 2 random words together. It's definitely memorable in terms of, that's really weird, but yeah, hey, still looking forward to it. These next 2 games are kind of go together, but I will still separate them. just for ease of, editing for myself. Number 4 is Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster. I have never played a Suikoden game before in my life. And as a Trails fan, one thing about the Suikoden games that's really interested me is just the sheer amount of characters that you can go around and recruit. There's probably so much layers in terms of just gameplay strategy, and how deep are all of these characters? Because I'm imagining before the Trails games, I would have looked at this and been like, oh, that's so many characters. They're all just gonna kind of be sort of generic in a sense. Then I played the Trails games, and it's like, no, there's hundreds of NPCs, and not every single one of them is memorable, but a vast majority of them are. And it's like, no, if they have even a quarter of the depth of the NPCs of Trails, no, that's gonna be good. And I've heard Suikoden 2 is like the fan favorite game. I know they do like war battles. There's a lot of just mechanics in it that just appeal to me as a JRPG fan. And well, I guess I'll move into the next one, which is technically connected, sort of, in a spiritual way. And number 3 is Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Shout out to my boy, Callie Q, for introducing me to this game. Actually, not introducing me, but more putting the game on the map for me. Because I had heard of Eiyuden Chronicle through the grapevine, but I didn't really know too much about it. I just kind of knew it existed. I didn't know what kind of game it was. I didn't know it was a spiritual successor to Suikoden, but just I watched a lot of his videos, and just the way that he described it and just his passion for the Suikoden games just really managed to win me over. And, looking at the trailers, especially the more recent one that came out, where they showcased the war battles and building up of your town and all that cool stuff, it was like, no, this looks really, really cool. I love the whole town building aspect, being able to sort of just slowly watch it grow over time is a concept that I really like, and I hope they do it really well. The gameplay itself looks awesome. I love that more games are doing this sort of HD, 2D, 2.5D style of graphics. Ever since Octopath, really. Those style of graphics will always just really stand out to me. I can't wait for that game to come out. And number 2, probably won't be a surprise to anybody. It's definitely not a surprise to Kevin. The Legend of Heroes, Trails Through Daybreak. Oh man, I feel like I don't have a lot to say on this game since I've kind of talked about it fairly extensively. I did almost an hour-long spoiler-free thoughts video on the game. Oh yeah, so yeah, shameless plug. If you want to check out my spoiler-free thoughts on the game, I'll have it right here. It's such a good game. If you were at all disappointed with the Cold Steel arc in general, or Cold Steel 4, or Reen's character, or the harem stuff that they did, Falcom listened to an extent. I'm not gonna hype the game up to crazy heights, but if you were disappointed, I think you will be pleasantly surprised with the direction that this game takes things. But I love the gameplay of this game. It feels so good to play. You have this mix of action and turn-based gameplay that just feels so buttery smooth, and the turn-based combat is so fast and fluid that it almost doesn't even feel turn-based. It's a lot of fun. It's really flashy. It's really quick. Van is a protagonist. Oh, what can I say about Van? He's just... I've seen people compare him to Gintoki from Gintama and Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. That's pretty accurate. So if you enjoy those two characters, you will really enjoy Van. He is awesome. As far as where he ranks personally, I'd say he's tied for 3rd place. As far as favorite protagonists go, quick rundown of my favorite protagonists. Bestel is number 1, always will be. I love Estelle. Lloyd Bannings, the barrier boy himself, is number 2 for me. Like I said, about detectives and everything earlier. And I love his never give up attitude. And I love that he's just a normal dude amongst all these crazy powerhouses, wanting to seek justice, seek the truth, do what's right, protect those he cares about. I really like Lloyd a lot. And third place, well, I mean, you see him right on the screen, but Kevin. Van is tied with Kevin. He could potentially be higher as I get further into the games, because I haven't played Crow 2 yet, but I hope to change that soon. Yeah, just look forward to this game. This game is awesome. I absolutely love my time with it. It is definitely one of the strongest starts to a game in a new arc. That's for sure. And number one probably won't be too surprising because I talk about the series quite a bit. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. And this game actually comes out in January of 2024, so I have to hurry up and get through Gaiden before the game sneaks up on me. But just finally getting to continue Ichiban's story from Yakuza 7. And just Hawaii looks absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to romp around and do all kinds of wacky side quests and mini games and just see what direction the story takes. And if you've seen the story trailer, which I probably shouldn't have watched it, but man, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing the direction they take with the story and how they conclude certain things that I imagine are carried over from Gaiden and 7. And it's gonna be so much fun seeing all those characters again. Just Nanba, Adachi, Psycho, all of them. Yeah, and it's one of those JRPGs where the entire cast are all adults, which is something that you very rarely see. It's usually a bunch of teenagers to, you know, young adults, maybe young 20s, 18, 20s, around that kind of age. But now these guys, they're all in their 40s, 50s, romping around. Oh my gosh, I love it, man. The Yakuza games are so good. They have some of the best side quests, and the mini games are always a ton of fun. RGG always manages to just improve their games in terms of just overall quality. It's just like, man, they're one of those companies where even though they reuse a lot of their assets to get the games out there quicker, they really care about them. They really pour their heart and their soul into the stories, into the characters, into all the various side activities, into the freaking music. Holy moly, I can't wait to hear all that banging music. Should I do a Let's Play of Infinite Wealth? I brought this up before, but I really would want to, but I don't know, because that game would be such a long game. It would probably take me a couple months just to get through it. I don't know. That's all she wrote. As far as the top 10 games I'm looking forward to for 2024. And yeah, I guess that'll end things here for now. Feel free to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe if you're new here and you enjoy what I do. Feel free to check out my other content, mainly music related, Legend of Heroes, yada yada, all that stuff. And leave a comment down below. Tell me what you thought. Are there any games on my list that you're looking forward to? Are there any games that are not on my list that you think I would be interested in? Feel free to leave those down below. Thanks again, guys, for hanging out with me. It's always a pleasure. It's always fun. And most importantly, take care of yourselves. I'll see you again soon. Peace out.
All right, what's next?